Good evening, everyone, and welcome to season number 8 of League of Europe, round 1 around Bahrain. Of course, my name is Jekyll, taking you guys through this for this season for yourselves. And joined alongside me, Aidan is unfortunately away for tonight, but you know what? I will happily take my co-com for this evening. QBR Verstappen, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
Hello everyone, indeed. Welcome to Division 2 Season 8. It's starting. Lovely to see. I'm very excited. We just have a last person joining the lobby. Should get it underway quite soon. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, me as well. As I said, like, we've been through those 2 pre-season races. We've got everything all sorted out eventually. And now, of course, we'll be loading into the session very, very shortly. In case you guys did miss the video of the division reveals and the cars in, I will quickly just show you now who is in what car on your screens. As you can see, you have got the MLE pairing once again from last season of Scream and Creeko, the Red Bull pairing, of course, of Dari and Tope from Division 3 last season, Rick and Brent again from Division 3 last season in the Ferrari, Larkin and Killer Blue for McLaren, those two in the McLaren for this season. The Alpines of Nathan and Slash, which I think is going to be a favourite for the season. Felipe, or Nolan, as everyone knows him as, and Luco 5. Again, I think that could be another strong pairing in the AlphaTauri. Bunty and Flex in the Aston Martin. Timon and Lix in the Alfa Romeo. The Williams of Ben JS and XLRJ. And then in the Haas of Rex and more games as well. And as I said, we've been through all of this anyway, so we don't exactly need to think who could be like the predictions for that. Because as I said, I'm pretty sure we all know as well that the Alpine duo of Slash and Nathan are probably going to be the ones to beat for the season. I don't think there's any sort of contest with that, but I won't be surprised if we do see a few more people start to build themselves up, especially around Bahrain, which is quite known as like a pad heavy track, as a lot of people would tend to call it.
Yeah, definitely one that favors the controller. And don't worry, we'll get some that favor the wheel as well. So a bit of a spread of that usually, and as always. But yeah, we start off with Bahrain. Yeah, the guys to keep an eye on are going to be like Nathan, Slash. I think the AlphaTauris will be very strong here as well. Nolan as alias by Ariel Felipe and Luke as well. Both pad drivers, so could be very much interesting. To note tonight as well, Ben JS is not here, so Ariel Evans is replacing him in the Williams, and Lix is not here. So Joom is replacing him in the Alfa Romeo, just if you're wondering, with those names as well on the first cars that going out on track.
Yeah, no, certainly is. And just on board with Benny, he's going to be probably the first one that we will watch through the first round of Season 8 for. So, yeah, as I said, I think it's going to be a bit of an interesting one for certain as well. And I don't know who exactly to call at the moment. As I said, it can literally go down to anybody throughout this as well. So we'll just have to try and see who we think could be out on top, who we think could be looking very, very sort of strong throughout this season as well. But I mean, I genuinely don't know what to call it. If you guys don't know like what the calendar is looking like for this season, then I will quickly try and get that up on screen for yourselves in a very short moment. But yeah, I mean, as you said, there's a lot of tracks that are relatively sort of pad heavy, a lot of tracks that are, it just does depend on how it could go down for the rest of the season. Obviously, as I said, Bahrain usually is known as a pad heavy track, is what a lot of people like to call it. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I think anything can sort of go down on any of these tracks, especially with this new update of the game. As I said, anything can literally happen with what is going to go going down. But yeah, we've got our first man that's about to start a lap of DTR Brent. You want to take us away with that?
Yeah, so we're on D-Jack and just coming down towards the start-finish line. DTR Brent in the Ferrari. Let's see how he does all the way down towards turn 1. Very difficult braking zone here. You want to brake around the 100 meter board just before. Down to 3rd gear. See quite a bit of variation. Then a very difficult traction zone for 2 and 3. Does it nicely, Brent does though. DRS open for the 2nd time. Obviously the 1st time being on the start-finish straight. Now down towards turn 4. And down into 4th gear. Again, bit of a difficult traction zone, but decently done by the Ferrari. 28.4 is a very decent first sector split time. Holds it in 6th gear through turn 6 and 7, and then towards turn 8, a very slow hairpin, and we'll get another one of those very soon. On the traction goes the Ferrari. This is looking a very decent banker lap, I have to say, for the double left off turn 9 and turn 10. Brent goes now though. Gets a bit on the curve in the exit, but still gets decent traction. DRS open once again, not really enough to take a spot then into turn 11, but it's still going to help to keep the pack together a little bit. Get on that later through turn 11, long corner there, as well as turn 12, which is completely flat here. Looking at the sector split time, still decent, 1.65 through turn 13. Track limits put out by the stewards, so don't get too wide there, and watch out for that. And now down towards the final 2 corners of turn 14 and 15, which is basically just one corner. Braking it quite nicely. On the throttle the Ferrari goes, and let's see where he comes up with his lap time. DRS open, a 1:28.271. An alright banker time. Let's see if anyone can improve on that.
Yeah, no, certainly will. Ariel Evans just coming across the line with a 28.560. One of the McLarens also coming across the line. It was going to be Killer Blue, but he has spun out of the final corners, so not going to see a lap time from him. Rex, the American, goes up into P2 now, just up ahead of Evans, 28.512. RJ, 29.151, and Killer Blue, as I said, 38.7 from that spin on that final corner. Pope, 0.06 of a second behind Brent and Creco, chucking it on top at the moment as well. Bunty at 50.810, so I'm assuming he's obviously had a spin somewhere within that lap, so he'll be looking to go again. XL Larkin coming across the line now with 28.391. So we're already starting to see a few more times now coming in. Of course, there are a lot of them are just all for like banker laps as well, and obviously we'll probably see a lot quicker times. I'm expecting a few of these guys to get themselves into 27, as I said, especially the likes of Nathan and Slash. Yeah, as I said, a lot of bankers now just coming in and riding on board with QRT Timon, just coming through the second sector now, obviously the tight and twisty part of it. Timon, of course, our Division 2's champion last season, has gone to full no assist, so he's just starting to get to the ropes with that, and not looking too bad in the pre-season races. He was towards the back end of it, but as I said, he can only improve from there, hence why he is still in Division 2, even though you probably would disagree with that. A few other guys just putting their times on the board of Darry, Doom, Rick, Luke, all putting times on the board respectively for each of them as well. But let's have a look and see where time is going to be at. 106.9 in the middle sector. It's going to put him around sort of what the time that Brent did, maybe a couple tenths behind that. So I'd say around sort of where Evans and Luke are at the moment. But we'll see as we're just coming towards the end of the lap for the Dutchman, as he's just making his way around now the final 2 corners on the circuit. Straight short shifting up into 5th gear, and up towards the line comes Timon. He's going, I think I said it's going to be around where Rex and Evans are. In fact, it's a little bit lower. His temporary teammate of June just going up ahead of him at the moment, but a 28.894 for the Dutchman. 5 more people, as I was about to say that, 4 more people still left to do a lap as Flex puts it up in a P5.
Let's see what Nathan can do. The designated favourite for this season so far. Let's see, 106.3, purple in the middle sector. This could be a very decent lap. I think he had a bit of a moment through turn 13 that cost him some time, but let's see if he can still get up there on the timing sheet. He's about 2 tenths quicker than Brent throughout that split, so let's see if he can still get up there into P1. DRS is open for Nathan, GR63. Not quite, it's half a tenth behind Creco.
P2 for Nathan, so he's going to look to try and out-qualify Creco for that one, try and get himself on that front row. He has said that he's very good in qualifying, and he thinks he reckons there's a bit of a quali merchant around there. Pretty good in the qualifying, but in the race doesn't seem to think that he's very handy around it, but I suppose we'll wait and see when it comes to the race anyway. But yeah, first set of laps all done, other than Nolan. In fact, Nolan's only just starting his lap, so we'll keep on board with the AlphaTauri driver making his way around turn number 1 now as well, taking a lot of that curb on the outside to get a better entrance in towards turn 1. I haven't seen many drivers try and do that, but if it works out for Nolan, it works out for Nolan. DRS now wide open, coming up towards turn number 4 now, and that AlphaTauri short shifting it down into 3rd and straight up into 4th after that corner as well. 28.4 in the first sector, not a bad first sector whatsoever. Now making his way through that second sector, hopefully that Red Bull in front, I believe, of Hope doesn't get in the way of him. He doesn't indeed, so that's very good to see. But yeah, making his way now through the elusive turn number 10. Very difficult to try and get that right, and in fact Nolan has done that beautifully. Now coming up towards turn number 11 and turn number 12. Turn 11 does tend to catch quite a few people out. I don't think Nolan's just looking like he's doing a very good lap at the moment, and turn 11 definitely has not caught him out. Now through turn number 12, keeping it flat out as much as a possible 106.358 for Nolan, and this could look to put him on that top step. This will put him around where Nathan and Kruko are, but is it going to be enough to get him on that pole spot at this moment? Let's have a look as he's just making his way up towards the final corner now, just breaking just after the 100 meter board, down into third gear. Very nice exit as well for Nolan. This is looking like it's going to put himself on top, and this might even be the first driver into the 27s. Only just shy of it, but a 28.037 for Nolan. Very good lap indeed, and I'm intrigued to see if he can try and keep this up throughout, not only just in this race, but throughout the season, because again, he has that potential, I reckon, to, well, try and challenge up Nathan.
Look at Slash. He was up on Nolan in the middle sector split. Let's see if he can get up ahead of him. Not quite. 800 behind. So Nolan has definitely done a good last sector there. As, yeah, he's almost gained the 10th, I think more than the 10th actually on Slash in the final sector. So it's very intriguing to see. Yeah, a very good time for both of them, but there's a lot of guys still to improve.
Yeah, no, certainly are. Tope is now on a lap as well, 0.03 up on his time, so 300ths of a second. At least we'll put him up ahead of Brent. It might even be even close to Nathan. Obviously, those top six guys all so closely compact, like by just 2/10 separating the six of them. And hopefully we'll see a lot more people try and sort of mould their way in towards that top six as well. Hopefully get the close, as I said, the first set of laps, you know, will be in banker laps, just trying to get used to the track again, get used to the new patch, of course, from last week that it only just come out. Thank you very much, Codemasters, for doing that. But yeah, as I said, I think we're just going to be seeing a lot more guys. They'll be going a lot quicker than what they have done so far. As I said, I'm expecting a few of these times to get themselves, a few of these guys to get themselves in the 27s as well. Tope now just under a 10th up on his time. Will put him, as I said, it will put him up ahead of Nathan. Is it that sector 3 though was what has hindered the German? He's just coming around the final corner now in that Red Bull, short shifting it straight up into fourth. A very nice exit out of that final corner. Tope, is he the first one into the 27s? No, he's not, and he's only just shy of Nolan's time as well. 28.082, the second one into 28.0s. Very nicely done, splitting the two RAL drivers as well. Tope, if he gets a good start, if it remains this way, we could see him possibly fight for this win.
But there goes Killer Blue as he is the first one into the 27s. 27.9 after spinning on his first lap. He'll be happy with that one, definitely. 400 ahead of Nolan so far. There's a few drivers still coming around. I saw someone jump up.
That was RJ.
I didn't quite catch who it was. RJ, he's gone up to 16th only. So he'll be looking to improve a lot more. During the rest of the session, there's still time for it. Rick is coming up to the line. He is going into P8. A decent time from the Ferrari. He impressed a lot in Mexico. Made his way into D2 still. But yeah, he'll be one that might, on this consistency, get up there. Kriko's gone second on a 28 flat. So the times are coming down slightly, a little bit throughout this session.
Yeah, a lot of, I think pretty much nearly every single driver are out on the track other than Rex, Evans, slashing Nolan. Of course, Nolan and Slash doing their laps late. As all on board with Doom coming through the end of the second split, or second sector, it just spins it out of the exit of car number 12. I'm sure we'll probably see a few of those guys tonight getting caught out by that. As I say, there's a second one that got caught out by that. I believe that is Bunty has also been caught out from that one. So unfortunate for the both of them. Larkins jumped up into P9 as well. 28.391 for the XL driver in that McLaren. Brent on a lap currently as well. There's a few other guys making their way through the lap. I'm just trying to see who's going to be the furthest one along. It was June, but I'm just trying to see who is the one that's the furthest along. I believe Flex in the Aston Martin. No, it certainly is not. It's like everyone's out on track, so I'm just trying to catch who it is. It is Luke. Luke is the furthest one along, 4.5 tenths up on his time, and this could put him at around once again by Brent and Nathan, who are also on their laps and only just behind Luke as well. But Luke coming up towards the line now, 28.153. In fact, splitting Slash and Nathan, the two Alpines, who I'd say are pretty much favourites for this season, getting split by the AlphaTauris. It looks like it's an AlphaTauri versus an Alpine battle for this season, as Nathan coming up towards the line now, 27.833, the second one into the 27s, and straight onto pole up ahead of Killer Blue as well. Dari, who hasn't really done exactly a representative time, a 29.069 for the Red Bull, just coming coming around the final corner and up towards the line now for him. He comes up and does a 28.616 for Dari. That's a bit. I was expecting a bit better from Dari. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, down in P15, I'm expecting him to try and make a few more places up in this qualifying session with only 5 minutes left to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'm expecting. Larkin improves as well to 28.1, as I just caught time and crashing out. Out of turn 7, he's lost it, and he is into the wall and out of the session, and he's not going to be any higher than 18th. And you'd imagine Bunty on the lap without a lot of ERS, I'm noticing, actually. So that must be after his spin. He's gone again just to get a lap on the boards, potentially, and we'll see if he finishes it. Don't think, no, he's going to finish it. DRS is open. Shouldn't be too quick of a lap, 29.8. I know he's just switched the wheel as well, so that could be a disadvantage for him as well. So we'll have to see if he can get up to speed. I think Ariel Slash is the next one on the lap, though.
Yeah, we'll keep on board with Slash then, as in fact, it's not actually Slash, it'll be Felipe, Mr. Nolan. He is currently on a lap. And, he's 3 tenths down on his time, so I don't think there's going to be an improvement from him. I think Rex was the next one that was out on a lap, and in fact, he went purple sector 2, 4 and a bit tenths up on his time, so the Americans are looking to try and make a bit of an impact as well. A lot of these Division 3 drivers from last season coming into this Division 2, with a mix, of course, of a few Division 2 drivers from last season, looking to try and make an impact, and Rex up into P3 with a 28.015. in that Haas, so very nice time from him indeed. But we've got to go on board with Slash, as you say. He is just coming around that final corner. I was saying that though, he goes very wide out that final corner and comes straight into the pits. So yeah, not going to be an improvement for Slash at the moment. But about 3 minutes left of the session. I'm expecting to see a lot of drivers make their way out of the pits right now, and I'm going to ride on board with June because he looks as to be the only one out on a lap at the moment. But anyone at this present moment, yeah, obviously with 3 minutes left to go, anyone that's a bit of a surprise for you?
I have to say, Rex is surprising me with that time. 28 flat. I know he's been quick on this game. I didn't expect him to be that quick. So yeah, that is definitely one that is a bit of a standout to me so far. And yeah, let's just see. I know in more games it's that he's not liking the track at all. So
I'll blame him.
I'm not too surprised. Yeah. He's not set a valid time yet, so let's see if he can get himself into doing that in the rest of the sessions and a minute of minutes remaining, so everyone's just about to go out for the final runs, and we'll see who can actually get there and improve. Is Jim still on lap? He's an invalid lap, so I don't think he's on one anymore. And beyond that, everyone's on out lap, so bit of a dull point in the session.
Yeah, a bit of a dull point in the session, so I'll quickly just run you through what the calendar is looking like for yourselves whilst we're just on, or whilst a few guys are on outlaps as well. So as you can see on your screen now, Bahrain, of course, being the first one. We've got Imola next week. Then it's the 2 American tracks the 2 weeks after. Monza straight after that with Singapore as the 6th round of the season. Then we go over to Silverstone, France, Australia, Hungary, all within that little sort of batch. Baku, Belgium and Austria. Then we have that week break for for Halloween, and I know there's like half time with that as well. And then when we come back, 4 more races of Spain, Saudi Arabia, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. And then just in case as well, with if you want to know who's doing what sprint races as well, we've got one I believe next week for Imola for the 2nd race of the season. Is that all right? What are the sprint races again?
It'll be Kota, France, and the last race of the season, Abu Dhabi as well. So Rex has retired in the pits now. But yeah, there's other sprint races, 1-shot quali, and then 50% sprint, which is around 10 laps for each track, roughly. And then obviously the 50% race as well. The point system is 10 to 1 from 1st to 10th, if that makes any coherent sense at that point. Meanwhile, we're looking at DTR Brent, who's the first one on his lap. He started. He's a bit down on his time. Let's see if he can improve the rest of the lap.
Yeah, I'm assuming the Dutchman will probably be making an improvement on that time. It's 28.271 for Brent. I know I've seen him going a bit quicker than that, so we'll stick on board with the Ferrari driver. Now DRS wide open as he made his way through turn number 10. Got a very nice exit out of that. Very nicely done for the traction, not sort of any wheel spin at all through that one. Now coming through turn number 11, keeping it in 5th gear. Again, I know that is one that can catch people out, as well as turn number 12, which he's just coming through now. And a 10th up on his time, so this will at least put him up ahead of Larkin, only just if he does manage to finish on this time. So we'll stick on board with him as, oh my goodness, almost going into the back of the Aston Martin. I believe that was Bunty on their outlaps as well. But yeah, Brent just coming across the line, or coming up to the line now. Let's see, is it an improvement on his time? Only just, but it's not enough to bring him up a position. So the Dutchman done all of that, but unfortunately he does remain in 10th position.
RJ just coming across the line, only 15th, and he is not seeming like very quick as of right now. I'll have to see if he can improve more games. Just about made a line there to start another lap. Now we're looking just to count down the times. The Scream coming across the line, P11 only. On the AlphaTauri, that is Ariel Felipe. 3 tenths up, this could be a good time for the AlphaTauri. Going across the line, a 127.7, puts it on provisional pole. Great lap by Ariel Felipe, and let's see if he can hold on to that, if anyone else can touch that time.
Yeah, no, certainly can. Slash is the one that's going to be the next one to finish his lap, and he's a 10th and a bit up in his time, so this will put him into the 27s as well, just up ahead of Killer Blue. If he did manage to complete that, and he does, in fact, goes up ahead of his teammate, 27.821. Hope comes across the line, 27.918. Rick came across the line as well, just out qualifying his teammate at 28.219 for the Finn. Luke across the line at 27.876 as well. It's all going on now. The next one coming across the line is going to be Creco. Is he going to make an improvement on his time? He certainly does. A P4, 27.875, a thousandth ahead of the AlphaTauri of Luke. Killer Blue going to be the next one, and he was in contention earlier on. Is he going to be able to keep in contention? He certainly does. Goes up ahead of Hope. Larkin as well, the other McLaren, both improving on their times, both getting themselves into the 27s. A very close and tight knit from first all the way down into 9th. Flex improves on his time as well, just going up ahead of Rex. The Flex and Rex next to each other is going to give us a bit of a tongue twister. So I'm not looking forward to that start.
Up.
And there he goes. Oh my goodness, Nathan.
14,000.
Straight away onto pole. What a time. What a time.
Look how close that is. 2.5 tenths between the top 10. That is insane to see. And yeah, that's a very close start of the season, you have to say. Bunty and More Games, the only two have had any proper representative times. But the top 10 to be so close, that's insane.
Absolutely insane indeed. As you said, 2.5 tenths separating those top 10, and even then after that, you know, the top 13 all separated by 5 tenths of a second, dead on. So very close between this entire field. Evans as well, just sort of holding on out there. RJ Dowie, I think they probably could have done a bit better on their laps, as well as Doom and Timon. But yeah, obviously qualifying is not where you get the points, it's where you get the points in the race. But Nathan already putting a good showcase in. Same with Nolan, both very close at the top there with each other. In third, of course, being Slash as well. So the Alpines first and third, I said, making a strong case already for this season. Creco in fourth, a very good effort from the German. Luke in fifth, Killer Blue in sixth. Of course, race winner, I believe at the beginning of F1 2021, when we did our first season on that game. He managed to take the win as well, so we'll see if he can maybe try and do something early on in this season as well. Tope is in 7th, splitting the two McLarens of Larkin in 8th, Flex in 9th, Rex in 10th, then the two Ferraris of Rick and Brent in 11th and 12th, Last Scream in 13th, Evans in 14th, RJ in 15th, Darian 16th, Joom in 17th with time, and the other Alfa Romeo in 18th, Bunty in 19th, and More Games, the only one that didn't set a time in the session, but we'll be starting at the very back of the grid. And of course, if you are new to F1 2022, if you've only just sort of seen the first bit from this season, you won't be able to, anyone outside the top 10, it doesn't really matter anyway, anyone inside the top 10, shall I say, are also allowed to have their free selection of tyres. So it's not as if there's going to be anyone trying to go outside the top 10. Everyone's going to be trying to get themselves on pole, and yeah, everyone can just sort of do any sort of strategy that they want to do, whether they go on the mediums to start off with, whether they go on the hards to start off with, or for whatever reason, if anyone wants to go on the softs, which one of the Portuguese guys in D1 did earlier on. If you want to do that, then you're more than welcome to do that as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of an interesting one, yeah, especially with how close it was between that top 10.
Yeah, definitely. To mention that guy that did it in D1, he got up from about 15th on the grid to 4th in a good 5 laps. So there's definitely potential that can help you there. He got a VSC and got up into a decent position. So let's see. I see a lot of hard tires, just waiting for it to load in. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys do. And we have our old standouts. A lot of guys on the hards there. Then we have Felipe's on mediums to second, Krico's on fourth on mediums, Taupe, Larkin, and then Rex from 7th, 8th, 10th are mediums, and then the back row of Bunty and more games are mediums. But the odd standout I've completely ignored is Alafar Flex on the softs in 9th. So watch out for him at the start. That could be a very interesting one.
It's always an Aston Martin, isn't it? I said it was in D1, it was the same thing, and now in Division 2. So starting on a set of the softs. Again, Flex will need to try and keep our eye out for to see if he does put in a very to see if he makes up any sort of positions. But yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of an interesting start. Nathan and Slash both on a set of the hards in first and third, both of course being teammates as well, so strategy could play a massive part into this and could either very much help each other or very much hinder each other. Felipe or Nolan and Luke as well, both going with different strategies, same with the two McLarens in 6th and 8th. I believe also Tope and Dari, both on different strategies as well. I think this is going to be... this can either make a very good race, and especially if there's an early safety car, it's going to obviously help the guys that are on a set of mediums, like Nolan, like Krico, Tope and Larkin, Flex and Rex as well. So, only 4 guys in the top 10 on a set of the hards. I've got to think that they'll be the ones that are coming towards the end of the race. They're going to be the ones we need to try and keep our eye out for.
Definitely be. Just want to note that Nolan's just completely driven off on the formation lap. It's an interesting one. He's obviously eager to park it first then. So let's see. Obviously the drivers are now having control of their cars themselves down towards the grid, and they need to make sure they park it as well as they can. As Felipe or Nolan, he doesn't do that quite as he gets disqualified, which the game does if you get too far up the spot. So he'll be starting a slightly bit further back. So a bit of a disadvantage then, just waiting on everyone to line up.
Yeah, certainly will. If anyone else obviously shows that it gets disqualified, that means that they wouldn't have been able to park up properly on their spots. But we're just waiting for more games as he's just coming up towards his grid spot, and then we can get this race straight underway. Nathan, line up on pole with Nolan alongside him, and Slash just behind these as well. Slash is going to need to try and play a bit of a team game here, but we've got the 4, we've got the 5 lights for round number 1 of season 8, and it's lights out and away we go. And it looks like Nathan getting a very good start in comparison to Nolan. Slash also getting a very good start, but Krico is the one that we need to keep our eye out for, trying to line up alongside Slash, already getting a very bad camera angle going in towards turn 1, but it is Nolan that is out on top. As Nathan has a bit of a half spin through that as well. Slash goes around the outside, getting himself up in the 2nd position. Nathan down into 3rd. There's a massive collision going on behind. It looks like there's about 6 cars involved. When down the back of the field, Flex as well, RJ, and there's already a virtual safety car, I believe. Or well, I'm not too sure because it's a full course. There's yellows, but what's going on?
I think it's a virtual safety car. I'm pretty sure, because there's no safety car coming out of the pits. So probably, I'd assume it's a full course. But Nolan taking the lead at the start. Saw a few cars just going around, and it just says more games is up to 12, which I think says enough about what happened back there. RJ getting a 5-second time penalty. I think it all started somewhere around the midfield, with actually a bit further up because Killer Blue half spun. I saw that, and then I saw Flex further back, and he was around like the same position as him. So I think somewhere around there something happened, but I'm not too sure. As we've gone green again, so it was definitely a virtual safety car there. Second half clear is Felipe. He'll be looking to drive off completely now.
Yeah, he's already 1.5 seconds up the road on Nathan. Of course, with that virtual safety car, it would have put everyone at a time delta. And it looks like Felipe is the one that's just sort of managed to keep on that delta. Slash losing out to his teammate as well as RJ, the first victim of that turn number 12, unfortunately, in the Williams, already being now down into last position. But Nathan and Slash both obviously losing out, of course, being on the set of hard tyres. As Krico now going to try and go down the inside of Slash in towards turn number 1. The Mercedes man going to just keep it put down that inside and get that move done on Slash, and now up in the 3rd position. And on the podium goes Kriko. Nicely done from him, but I don't think that's over yet because Slash trying to get a bit of a drive now coming out of turn number 3. Just going to stick on board with the Alpine, but not going to be close enough to getting the move done on the Mercedes, so it does stay down in 4th position. And yeah, Time and Doom and Scream, all the ones that came in as No.
He spun out of turn 4. Spun out of turn 4 and he's fallen all the way back to P7. He's round again. That's very much a shame to see because he was so basically clear to start, and then I'm not too sure what happened. He's now just trying to make his way back to the track as he gets 10-second time penalty. Interesting there. But yeah, that promotes now Nathan into the lead of the race and Kriko into 2nd. And I just wanted to mention, looking down towards that start-finish straight, I thought Kriko's straight line speed was insane, so compared to at least Slash. So that's definitely a thing to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, no, for certain as well. He has got about 70% of ERS left as well to play with, so he might have used a little bit of that just to try and get as close as he could. I was riding on board with Tope as well, and he was literally touching the back of Luke's car, so I think Tope is going to try and eye up a move as well, as I think Flex having a bit of a half spin. Oh no, he hasn't half spin. Him and Nolan both spinning at turn number 12, so both now being affected from that. Kriko with the fastest lap of the race, 1.3 seconds behind Nathan now, trying to charge down on the Alpine driver, as well as Tope still also trying to close down on the AlphaTauri of Luke. Rex now setting the fastest lap of the race, in fact getting past Bunty on the straight as well, so in fact they're both still side by side, and in fact I think Bunty has just let Rex go, so Rex now up into 12th position and now up into the points for the League of Europe. If anyone is of course new to LOE, top 12 are all getting themselves points, so Rex is currently our final point scorer, as Nolan getting past Flex going in towards turn number 1, as well as RJ all close together, as Nolan once again unfortunately going around.
Yeah, that's very peculiar to see. A couple spins there, so not the greatest day for him. He's going to have to hope for a safety car later on in the race. Timon, I think, has got damaged for the 2nd time. I know he went in on the end of lap 1. He's gone back in for hards and changed his wing again. So yeah, a couple guys not enjoying their time so far, I think, and they'll be looking to hopefully for them get a safety car again. No one's going around again. Full Blue getting past Larkin. I think Larkin may have made a mistake there because he's on the mediums. You wouldn't expect the one on the slower tyre to get past there. So I think that's what happened. As of right now, Kriko is desperately trying to get back into the DRS of Nathan.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. So I think Larkin must have made some sort of mistake. Killer Blue now up into 6th position. Luke, did he get himself DRS? He did get it only just as there's another spinner, and that is Flex once again out of turn number 12. And as I watched that as well, Nolan once again out of coming through turn 11 as well. So these guys are not having fun whatsoever throughout this race, and it's a shame to see for those guys as well. But yeah, Slash still just keeping up to the back of Kriko. Kriko not actually driving off as much as I thought he would when he got past Slash. I thought he'd be already back onto the back of Nathan and at least trying to get past him by DRS, but he's not even within DRS of Nathan. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see how the rest of this is going to play out between a lot of them. But top 5 now all started to get themselves back within DRS. I said Kriko just hanging on by a thread, but again I think it's just parts where Nathan is just looking quicker. Unfortunately Kriko just can't do anything to help that, and that's allowing Slash to keep within DRS. But unfortunately for Slash, it's not going to be closing up to his teammate, as Nolan, first one to retire, already into the pits. Lap 4, it's a bit early to retire, to be honest with you, because a safety car could come out and he would be straight back within it. Yeah,
quite an interesting decision. Not too sure. If it's a bit late in the race, I would maybe get it, but this is very early to do it. I've just seen Rex go around as well. And Jum has had a moment out of turn 7 as well, so there's a lot of guys just currently struggling a lot with the traction and trying to even keep it on track. I think it does Kriko have DRS, not quite, but he's on the bubble of it, and he's gonna probably get it towards the next race, although here's the detection point and he's still not got it. So Nathan's doing a good job of keeping that, although he is on 20% ERS.
Yeah, no, certainly is. Just a little bit further back, more games on Rick, both going side by side through turn number 1. More games on that outside to have the inside for turn number 2. And let's have a look and see, is Rick going to be able to hold on to that one? A little bit of clash between the wheels of the both of them, but I think Morgane's got the better traction coming out of that. Rick, though, still side by side, and got the DRS, and so has more games going on towards turn number 4. Rick's going to have that inside line, and I think Morgane's is going to have to give that one up. Rick getting that move back done on more games. Good battling between the pair of them, and Rick now up into 10th position, trying to chase down Barry for that 9th position as well. Rick, by the way, very good performance out in Mexico in that preseason race, and now trying to chase down Barry to try and get himself back within that top 9 positions. But yeah, the top 5 now all basically starting to run away from the rest of those guys. Creco still teetering on the edge of DRS and Nathan. I think he needs to just get a bit of a better drive out of a few of these corners. Tope getting a move done on Luke now, 4P number 4, and Bunty getting past Rex as well for 12th position. In fact, they're both side by side coming up in towards turn number 12, both not actually having any, turn number 11, both not having any DRS on each other either, and Rex got that move back done on Bunty. So I'm not too sure if Rex made a mistake or what, but yeah, good battle in between the pair of them nonetheless. But yeah, Tope got the move done on Luke, and I think it might have been a bit too early, because I think Tope could be under pressure from Luke once again coming up in towards turn number 1.
So just seen Larkin hit the back of his teammate then into the final corner, and he's got through there. I don't think that was on purpose or anything, just a bit too late on the brakes there, but he's through into P6 now. And those mediums, he's going to have to make the best of it and see if he can get up to the back of Luke.
Yeah, it's not good when you see two teammates hit each other, so hopefully Larkin hasn't got any damage. It doesn't look as if it's hindering him. It looks like, in fact, he's starting to catch up to the rest of those guys. There's another spinner out of turn number 12, and that is Doom once again. The Spaniard not having a good race whatsoever, and neither is his teammate. The two Alfa Romeos having a bit of a nightmare race between the pair of them. But yeah, Larkin, in fact, set in purple sector 1. He's now brought himself, Killer Blue, and Evans all within this DRS train, so the top 8 now within this massive DRS train, and then Dari and Rick just sort of lagging behind a little bit. But yeah, I think this is what we're going to just see throughout pretty much the entirety of the race. Just a massive DRS train. It's just whether it could be sort of a concertina effect with it. If one of them tries to go for a move, I think we'll then see a lot of them also try and go for some sort of move. It's just who's going to be the first one to start that one off, as Tope dropping out of DRS from those top 3 guys.
Yeah, he's just about struggling to keep with those guys at the moment, and it looks like Creco is kind of reeling in Nathan here, and it might just benefit Slash, because he obviously doesn't have to burn as much ERS. He can just sit in behind and yeah, maybe benefit a bit later on in the race. We'll have to see as Timer gets a penalty to make things even worse for him as of right now. And yellows as the other Alfa Romeo Jim is spun once again. He's not looking too great for the pair of them, you have to say. Yeah, one thing that's going to be interesting as well later on in the race is just a bit of a DRS train right now. It's going to be the pit window, obviously, and those tires are going to be very difficult to get out of pits and warmed up.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's going to be. I think when we see that come down, because look, you can see from 1st to 6th, it's literally just hard, medium, hard, medium, hard, medium. That's saying that Tope out of turn number 4 as well, now having that spin coming out just out in front of his teammate, in fact just behind his teammate and Rick. So yeah, very unfortunate for Tope running in that top 4 train, or top 8 train should I say. We've gone from 8 to now 7 as Luke also keeping or staying out of that, as Timon now spinning around out of turn number 11. These Alfa Romeos are not having fun whatsoever. But yeah, Luke, because of that spin with Tope, or Tope having that spin, sorry, it now takes Luke out of DRS, and now he's going to be under pressure from both of those McLarens, and I think we might even see Larkin go for it on that next, well, on the start finish straight. But these top 3 are now just starting to run away from it. As Killer Blue now spinning out of turn number 11.
And there's another victim to basically the traction or this track not being amazing, and yeah, then more games looking Danny instead of turn 13. Be very optimistic when he is proceeded to hold off with that one for now, but he's going to try and get back through him on towards turn 1, I reckon, on the mediums, see if he can make up a position. Meanwhile, the top 3 are now clear a little bit. Larkin is going for a move on Luke, though, down towards turn 1. Should be a fairly easy one. I don't think Luke is fighting that one, and Larkin up into P4.
Yeah, no, certainly was. One McLaren's get overtakes. One McLaren's getting overtaken as more games gets the move done on Killer Blue. Now going up in towards turn number one. Goes straight back onto the racing line. Killer Blue, unfortunately, with that spin, has now dropped him down into P11. But I think he's got a better traction coming out of turn number 3. And let's have a look and see if he can get it done back on the Irishman. He's going to try and go towards the inside, in towards turn number 4. Killer Blue going to hold it down the inside. More games trying to hold it around the outside. Still both side by side of each other. A little bit more banging than Killer Blue. Just shows the experience of him, and up into 10th position he goes up ahead of the Haas, and the other Haas of Rex as well, trying to pressure his teammate to try and get a move done as well, as I believe it was someone else also just made a move of some sort, as Doom now choosing to be the one that spins out of the two Alfa Romeos. Just I think these guys just want to do some pirouettes around this track for some strange reason. Both almost getting lapped, and it's lap 8.
Yeah, this is looking not great at all. So Rex gets past his teammate now as well down towards turn 11 as more games almost runs to the back of his teammate there. It's almost the second teammate collision we've seen tonight. Yeah, these Alfa Romeos are not really enjoying their time. Flex has just pitted from a second set of softs as Doom is into the pits, and I don't think he's going to continue, to be honest. As he does retire there in the pits. So that is the second one of the night after Nolan obviously earlier on. And we're on lap 8.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Jim has retired from the session. It was going to be inevitable that happens. People just need to be careful of his AI car coming out of the pits. As Tope getting overtaken by Rick. Rick now up into 8th position. I think Tope was trying to go for the move but just backed out in the end. So Rick now up into 8th. A little bit of a slide from the Finn as well, but got the move done in the end as Brent and Bunty as well. Very, very close between each other. Brent got the move done on Bunty, but Bunty's still within that DRS. In fact, Brent actually got the DRS on Bunty, so got just basically got more of an advantage out of turn number 4 and can just try and push away from the Aston Martin. But yeah, not exactly having the race that he would have imagined as well, and hopefully he can try and move his way up, especially from what happened at the beginning of that race.
Yeah, I think bar the top 5 or 6, maybe 7, 8, because they haven't had any issues either. No one's gone through this race very cleanly, I have to say. And a bit of a surprise to see, to be honest, because these drivers, you'd expect to be right on there. So Larkin is just draining as well to get back into the DRS off Slash. At this point, the hards might even be faster than the mediums, or at least on pace with them. As Rex is going round to turn 11 as well, another spinner.
A lot of people really struggling for traction despite this new update. It's surprising me, I'm not going to lie. I would have thought it'd be a lot easier for other people, but yeah, unfortunate for them, it's not working out for them whatsoever. Nolan did just say, or has just messaged me saying that he had 0 sound for the race, and everything was just completely muted, so that's why he ended up having that many spins and stuff like that. I know it can be very difficult to drive this game without any sound, so very unfortunate to see, but hopefully from Imola, all these issues would have been sorted out, and hopefully he can try and get himself back on top, because I think he's got the pace for it, which unfortunately for him, it just means that Nathan's going to have a bit more of an advantage. Killer Blue getting a move done on Tope, now up into 9th position, and I think you're right, I think we're starting to see these medium tyres start to die off ever so slightly. Yeah,
Krika is struggling a bit more to keep with Nathan as well. So they're around the same ERS level as of right now, around 40%. Actually on the exact same if you switch between them. So be interesting. Nathan is trying to actually break that gap, and it's an interesting fight, obviously, always see if he can do that. Not for now though. And Krika just about hangs on, but it's going to be more and more difficult as the pit window does approach for these medium runners as well.
And honestly, I won't be surprised if we see maybe even a couple of the hard runners maybe coming around when the medium runners are coming in, because I know these mediums, they can last at around sort of 14 to 15 laps on that second stint. So I'd expect a few of these guys that are on the hards, maybe the likes of Rick and Dari and Killer Blue, maybe to come in a bit earlier than what they intended to try and get a bit closer to those top guys, because as I said, Dari's about 4 seconds behind Evans. Evans is 4 seconds behind Luke, so Evans is pretty much in no man's land, so he might be one of those ones that will try and go for an early pit stop. There's watching on board of Rick, going to go for the move on the other Red Bull now of Dari, down towards turn number 1, the Finn, going to get that move done on Dari. Of course, all these guys battling for last season. Rex speeding into the pits as well, so the American coming in for his early pit, or coming in for a pit stop now to go on a set of the hards, but Rick now up in the 7th. This battle between him and Dari and Pope Of course, along with Killer Blue. All those guys were in Division 3 last season, other than Killer Blue. And yeah, I think it's a bit of an interesting dynamic that we're still seeing these guys all battling each other in Division 2.
Yeah, obviously, some of the D2 from last season is not signed up for this season or not let in. So, yeah, very interesting to see. So Killer Blue is looking all over the back of Dari as of right now. Can't get through into turn 10, but might be able to get it soon because Dari seems to be struggling a little bit compared to Rick and Killer Blue around him.
Yeah, it just looks as if Killer Blue and Rick have got a bit of better traction coming out of corners between the pair of them. Killer Blue's still trying to eye up and move on Dari, and I think he's probably just hoping that Rick can just drop Dari as soon as possible. You just see the difference between them. Killer Blue's still sticking to the back of Dari's car, and I think, well, I'm assuming now we might end up seeing a bit of an ERS move between these two.
Rico in.
Okay, so Creeko being the first one to come in on a set of the mediums at the front of the grid. Larkin's still going to be staying out, so I might try and go for a bit of an overcut on Creeko. But yeah, Creeko going on a set of the hard tyres now to go to the end of this race. So we'll see how that's going to impact and see if he can maybe get a bit of an undercut, on the rest of the guys up in front. But yeah, that means that Nathan is now 1.6 seconds up ahead of his teammate, and Slash 1.6 seconds up ahead of Larkin as well.
Yeah, these Alpine guys look to be fairly matched as of right now. Let's see if Slash can catch up to his teammates. And can't rule out Lucky either. He isn't too far back. He's 3 seconds behind Slash. Maybe an undercut or maybe some pens up ahead. Who knows where he can come out. Creeko's just come out behind RJ and he's going to have to warm up his tire. So he'll lose a little bit of time. We'll have to see if he can get that done decently though.
Yeah, he needs to get those warmed up quickly because, as I said, I'm assuming that we'll probably see maybe Larkin come in at the end of this lap or even Taupe even come in. Well, probably Larkin would be the better one to try and get the jump on Creeko, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if he manages to do so, especially with that tyre warm-up. It's very difficult to get an undercut done on a driver if they pit a lap later, so... Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but unfortunately for Killer Blue, he still cannot find a way past Dari. It looks like coming out of turn number 11, though, Killer Blue's got a better traction in comparison to the German up in front of him. He just needs to try and find a way of, hoping that Rick gets Dari out of his DRS. It's just unfortunate for him. Dari is managing to stick her in DRS just by a thread. So I think it's probably getting a bit frustrating for Killer Blue, and I'm assuming we may see him go for a bit of an undercut on Dari very soon, as nobody's actually opted to come into the pits, interestingly enough. So
interesting enough, I think. Okay, I think Nathan made a mistake out of the final corner as he has now let Slash back into his DRS, and that all went between one corner because I looked a corner before and it was 1.5 seconds. So, be interesting to see as Killer Blue has come in as well. Very interesting. He's come out ahead of Taupe. If he can make this mediums last and still have decent pace at the end, this could be a fairly decent strategy call for the McLaren.
Yeah, I was expecting someone to come in early. I wasn't expecting it this early, though. But yeah, Killer Blue already coming in for a set of the medium, so he's going to try and drag those to the end. It will be about 17 laps on the medium tyres, which is doable, but they will be pretty dead around 12 laps time, so around lap 25, lap 26. So he's got to hope that he can get a few moves done or get the pace up and running on those medium tyres before anybody else does opt to come in. But yeah, still on board with Slash and Nathan. As you said, I think, yeah, Nathan must have made some sort of mistake, or Slash started picking up his pace, because he's also dropped Larkin quite a bit. He was about 1.5 seconds behind. It's now down to 2 seconds, and Slash, of course, within a second of Nathan. So I wonder if Slash has just picked up his pace a bit more, and now, of course, within DRS of Nathan, it's going to allow those two to just try and run away from Larkin.
Yeah, they'll definitely be trying to do that, and let's see if they can accomplish that. But Larkin, in the meantime, is into the pits, and I think it'll be an interesting comparison to where he comes out compared to Creeko. I think he should be ahead, but then the tyre warm could drop him back into the class of the Mercedes as well. So we're going to have to see. Creeko is just coming down towards the final corner. There's two guys in behind as well, More Games and Brent. Brent from the hards to mediums, I reckon. So that's another one who follows his Killer Blue strategy and could gain some advantage. I think, what does happen here?
I'm just trying to see who it was, but someone's had a bit of a spinner. Yeah, I think it might have been both of the Alpines. I'm not too sure what's happened between the pair of them, but yeah, I don't know what's happened. There was yellow flags that were just sort of around there, and Luke's now within a second of the both of them, so
Oh,
I don't know what had happened with them. Your guess is as good as mine. I didn't manage to catch it. I just saw those yellow flags, and I saw Slash
Kriko.
drop down.
Larkin's come out right ahead of Kriko as I predicted, and Larkin has cold tyres though, so he's just gone wide into the side of the Mercedes, and Kriko's gone through around the outside of turn 8. So yeah, that just shows how much the tyre warm up, especially on those hards. So, you seeing something?
Yeah, it was a little bit of contact. Larkin actually made contact with Kriko. I don't think he was expecting Kriko to break so early. And to me, I mean, on my screen anyway, it looked like it was a bit of decent because he didn't look like he hit him on my screen whatsoever. But yeah, Kriko does manage to stay up in front of Larkin at the moment. I don't think Larkin got any wing damage from that. Nathan is actually into the pits. So he's going to be the first one out of those top 3 to go from hards to the medium tyres. I said I was expecting a few people to do this. And our race leader, of course, being that first one. So we'll see when Nathan comes out in relation. As Nathan actually picked up damage.
Yeah, he's got a wing change at least, so there must have been damage. That's going to lose some significant time for him, so I have to see where he comes out. As Kriko and Larkin are just making their way down the pit straight, and at least Kriko's going to be it, and I think Larkin as well actually. So this has cost Nathan quite a lot of time. I don't think Slash must have had damage, because he is still up and running and pulling away from Luke. Killblue sits the fastest lap of the race, as Bunty's coming out of the pits as well, and far behind Tope. He'll be going around Brent and the Scream then, I think. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah,
Luke has gone past Slash. Slash has made a mistake as well down into turn 10. I think he got beached on the curb, like entering into turn 10, and yeah, Luke has gone through.
I don't know how this race is just completely turned on its head, but with Nathan getting that damage, Luke's now basically our net leader, which is very interesting to see. I mean, I was expecting Luke to be up there with the rest of the guys, but I wasn't expecting him to be the race leader at this moment. So, yeah, Slash making that mistake, Nathan having that damage, yeah, that's now pretty much promoted Luke to the race lead. The thing is that when he comes in, he's going to be around where sort of Kriko and Larkin are, as Bunty, I think, on those cold tyres, losing out a couple of positions to Scream, and Brent coming through turn number 10 as well. So Bunty needs to try and get those tyres heated up ASAP, as yeah, Luke in. So I'm surprised Slash hasn't followed him, interestingly enough.
Yeah, Slash maybe trying to get an overcut possibly with, obviously in the mediums there's not as much of a tyre warm-up, but still is some sort of tyre warm-up. So we'll have to see, maybe he's trying to get track position because of that. Just waiting, Kriko and Larkin, they're coming across the start finish line about now. Can Luke remain ahead? I think just about. Will be close actually, because the tyres won't be up to temps for the AlphaTauri. Let's see, can Kriko get it around the outside here? He's trying to pull alongside, doesn't quite work. Luke stays ahead for now. That'll be interesting down towards sector 2 if he can remain that. Is he trying to heat up his tyres quite a bit here? Then to turn 4 is going to be difficult to keep that going. Kriko's looking. Can he get past the AlphaTauri, or is the AlphaTauri going to stick ahead? I think the AlphaTauri is just taking ahead. Kriko looking around the outside of turn 7. Not quite. Down the inside of turn 8, possibly. This Lucas quite wide. Kriko managed to curb a little bit too much. I think it's a contact. Bit of decent. And then Larkin tries to go make it 3 wide, basically. Kriko's going through. Larkin's now in behind him. And Lucas demoted to net third. And this allows guys like Nathan and Killblue now to catch up as well.
Yeah, very interesting between the pair of them. In fact, look at Larkin trying to maybe eye up a move on Kriko now as well. So now Kriko is our net leader, and well, Slash is our actual leader at the moment. And I'm assuming the Alpine will be putting in this lap. Yeah, in fact, he's in and speeds into the pits as well. Evans is going to try and follow him into the pits as well. So Evans coming into the pits. But it's gone from bad to worse for both of the Alpines, because with Nathan having that damage, Slash now has a 5-second penalty for speeding. It's now pretty much put Kriko in our race lead.
Yeah, I think it is. So it'll be interesting to see where Slash actually comes out, because due to all the battling, I think Slash is going to be well ahead of these guys. As now Luke is lining up a move as Nathan sets the fast lap. Luke is going down the inside of Larkin and Kriko possibly. Down into turn 1, double overtake for the AlphaTauri. Yes, he does. Beautifully done by him. And now his job is to hunt down Slash. And Slash obviously is going to have the same thing Luke has had the last lap. He's weaving down the straight to go and get that done, as Evans is just getting overtaken. Time is having yellow flags. Larkin and Kriko going side by side for turn 4. Let's see if Larkin can make this
Nathan
move. Nathan spun as well in turn 4 now as well. So Larkin is through. Nathan is all the way down as he gets damage. I think he does right end plate and left end plate still there. But yeah, his race has come from great to now a lot worse, and he's going to have to perform a miracle to recover some points.
Yeah, no, he certainly would. Nathan just, unfortunately, I saw that in the back whilst watching board with the battle with Larkin and Creco. You just saw it in the back happen there. Timon having another spin as well and picked up a 3-second penalty at turn 12 and at the exit of turn 10 as well. So, yeah, Timon now being lapped by our leaders, Rick and Barry. Still yet to make a pit stop, as well as RJ, and I'm assuming the rest of these hard runners may come in at the end of this lap. In fact, yeah, Rick coming in, Darry gonna follow him in, and we'll keep on board with RJ to see if he does come in. But yeah, Slash is actually now in our net lead of the race. He's got those tyres now warmed up, but Luke is within that DRS, and the problem for Slash, he has that 3-second time penalty as Timon has retired from the session. But sorry, Slash has a 5-second time penalty. Sorry, so yeah, Slash is going to be a bit under pressure. He needs to get 5 seconds up ahead of Luke, but with Luke being in that DRS, I don't see that happening. So I think we might see Luke potentially. Well, I think we might see Luke end up taking the win in this race. You know,
there's a very good chance of him. Obviously, those tyres are going to benefit him, and it's not going to be easy for Larkin or Creco to stick with them too, especially if Slash is pulling this along a little bit. Although he doesn't have that much ERS, which could hold him back again. But neither did any of the pursuers, to be honest. Rick has come out of P6, interestingly enough, ahead of Evans.
Ooh.
Though, if he can keep his tyres decently alive, a podium could be on the cards for the Finn then.
It went from well. It started off very badly for him. He was involved, I think, with that whole 6 or 7 car. No, he wasn't involved in that 6 or 7 car scrap at the back of the field. He managed to make it through cleanly, but just sort of been battling with Darry throughout the entirety of the race. I think Darry must have had some sort of damage, because wasn't Darry right on the back of Rick? And now he's about 5 seconds behind him. So I wonder if the German had damage as well. And now potentially getting overtaken by Nathan, coming up towards turn number 11. Nathan's going to go up alongside him and get the move done. Break it a lot later. Darry's going to try and get a switch back on Nathan, but I don't think he's going to get the traction. I was saying that Nathan's going to hold it down the inside of turn number 12 and keeps that move done on Darry. So Darry now keeping that P9. But he is looking a lot more racy than what he did before. Nathan going very wide out of turn number 12.
He saw damage.
Yeah, I forgot he did pick up that sort of damage, and Darry, I think, weaving not particularly happy of what he saw with Nathan going wide and keeping that position. So yeah, I think Nathan might get eaten up here by not by 1 but by 2 Red Bulls, as Tope is also on the back of these guys. Darry's using to try and get past Nathan. Nathan's also using to try and stay out the head of Darry. Down the inside goes Darry in towards turn number 1, gets the move done. Tope also trying to follow, a little bit of contact between the pair of them, but Tope gets that move done. Nathan with that damage, there's not much that he can particularly do. He won't even have DRS. He was ahead of them in that detection zone as well, so Nathan's going to have to stay down in 10th and going to lose out a lot of time between a lot of them. So Nathan keeping that 10th position, I mean, I think the best that he's going to get in a moment is just a single point at this point.
Yeah, he may be able, because Rick still has a penalty, so if he can stick around there, then he might be up for possibly 2 points. But yeah, that's about the most it's going to be for the Alpine, unless someone else does retire. Just looking how far Slash would fall back. As of right now, he'd be just ahead of Killblue, so down to P4 with his penalty. But he still has the pace advantage, so let's see if he can maybe resolve a podium here. I think it should still be possible.
Yeah, no, it's definitely still possible for Slash to do that. You can see the pace that he's got at the moment is, well, Luke is starting to drop off ever so slightly to him, but still keeping within that DRS. In fact, I think Luke might have made some sort of mistake through there. But yeah, you can see Slash derating on that, just looking at it from Luke's POV, but Luke is also starting to run out of that ERS as well. Larkin now 2.5 seconds behind Luke. Even if Luke picks up a penalty, he's still at risk of losing out of that position to Larkin, with him still being within that 3 seconds. But yeah, I think at the moment it's looking like Luke is going to take this win unless he makes some sort of mistake, or Slash can get him out of that DRS and Slash just drives off into the distance. But it's 9 laps left to go. I don't exactly see Slash doing that again unless Luke makes some sort of mistake.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either. Meanwhile, Killblue is now caught up to the pair of these hard runners. It'd be interesting to see if the McLarens can play a team game here and get Killblue maybe up into 4th ahead of Creco, or maybe even ahead of Larkin as well. Depends on how they want to have it, obviously.
Yeah, I think we could be seeing Killer Blue on the podium actually, from the looks of things. Because as I said, with him being on the back of Creek on the back of Larkin, he's now within that or only just within that 5 seconds of Slash as well. So P2 could even be on the cards for Killer Blue if he can get past these two hard runners quick time though. As there is a spinner that's a bit further back, that is Bunty out of turn number 7, I think that is as well. So yeah, Bunty's just not also just really struggling as well. Rick, interestingly enough, is now starting to catch up to the back of them, and with just dragging Evans along, you can just see them just close in shot. But yeah, Rick, I think he's also starting one we will also need to keep our eye out for. You did say it when he came out of the pits, but he is closing up to the back of this hard train led by Larkin, and I think we might see him towards the end of this race anyway, because I know Rick is usually pretty good on his tyres, kind of like another Dan somehow. But yeah, Rick is usually pretty good on his tyres, so I think we might see him towards the end of this race potentially be a bit of a threat towards the other guys on the set of the hards as well.
Yeah, and potentially Evans as well, so obviously he's getting dragged along. Evans is a quick guy, making his debut actually today. We'll have to see if he can maybe benefit from that as well. So towards the end of the race, potentially, we'll have to see. So yeah, obviously Killer Blue's mediums are quite old, so that could be one to drop off. Obviously these hard guys won't have amazing pace, but although they are kind of matching now Slash and Luke at the front, so it's not looking all too bad for them. We'll have to see how this plays out. This could be very interesting.
Yeah, no, as I said, we've got, of course, no more laps left to go, including this one, of course, as well. And at the moment, Slash is the one that is in the lead of this race. Luke is in second, but with Slash with that penalty, it's pretty much almost going to be null void for him. As yeah, Jake now going down the inside of Creeko, up into fourth position goes Killer Blue, and now it's a 3-4 for the McLarens. And we could, well, technically, in fact, it's actually a second third with Slash's penalty. The thing is, I think Larkin would need to let Killer Blue go as there's another spinner. In fact, that's collision with Flex and Scream through turn number 4?
Yeah, I don't know if it's collision because I didn't see any damage, at least on the Scream's car. I don't think on Flex's car either, so interesting. I'm not too sure what happened there.
Yeah, that's I'm not too sure what's happened there either. But yeah, the two McLarens now very close to each other. Yeah, Evans getting the move done on Rick, now up in the 6th position. Creeko's going to probably start to fall away from these two McLarens very soon. I'm assuming we'll probably see Killer Blue go past Larkin, probably not at this moment, but at some point. I'm sure they've got to play a team game where Killer Blue's got to go through on Larkin, try and drag them up towards Slash, so they can both still get themselves ahead of the Alpine. The thing is that Killer Blue needs to be the one that needs that would drag him. It can't be Larkin, because Larkin's just starting to drop off already a lot more from Luke. Yeah,
although the hards might come back at the end compared to the mediums, so we'll have to see about that later on, especially because these medium runners have pitted quite early. Maybe not Luke and Slash that early, to be honest, but yeah, Killer Blue's mediums are going to be quite old in a couple of laps, and don't know how much he can drag out of that for now. We'll have to see. It's Killer Blue just about has about 0.4 of margin compared to Slash right now. Have to see if he can keep that. Luke was struggling a little bit earlier to stick with Slash and seems to now be sort of alright, but he is needing to push to stick with him. So that just shows how great Slash's pace is at the moment. Even without any sort of ERS, as Bunty gets a time penalty there.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to see a pass-out for between these two McLarens. It looks as if Killer Blue, DRS now wide open for him. Evans has actually spun at the final corner. Larkin is letting Killer Blue go, so Killer Blue now up into the podium position. Larkin going to just stick behind him. Yeah, Evans, as you say, having that spin out of that final corner. Did he pick himself up any damage? It doesn't look as if he is, but he has dropped 4 positions from Rick, all the way down just behind Nathan. Of course, he won't have any DRS because he was up ahead of Rick. But Rick now 3.2 seconds off the back of those the other top 3. So I'm assuming we might. I don't think Rick is actually going to be in contention. It's these top 5. It's whether Creeko can stick within 5 seconds of Slash. At this moment, he isn't. So he even Larkin is even struggling to keep within 5 seconds of Slash. So he needs to get a bit of a move on. And I think in order for that to happen, we also need to see Luke have a battle with Slash just to slow him down a bit. But at the moment, it's looking like Slash is just on another pace of his own at the moment.
Yeah, Luke is not really able to contest even if he would want to. That's I think that is Bunty around again. He's not having the greatest of days for now. I'll have to see if he can bring him back in next week in Imola. But yeah, as of right now, that contention for the podium places is still up there. I think Luke if he doesn't make any mistake, he should have it in the back here. And that is provided with that. Obviously, Larkin's bit is tangling onto the DRS of Killer Blue is not very safe there. Definitely not within the 5-second window anymore. So Killer Blue might have some pace left in those mediums.
Yeah, those mediums definitely still have something left to play with as well. 4.2 seconds now behind Slash, so we might be seeing Killer Blue. It's looking more and more likely that Killer Blue will jump up ahead of Slash, but it's whether his teammate can try and drag himself along as well to get within that 5 seconds of Slash. Those mediums are still looking very good to drive on. I think Slash must have made some sort of mistake because Luke is all over the back of Slash now. I don't think he actually did make a mistake, but now Larkin is within that 5 seconds of Slash, so I don't know what had happened with Slash, but yeah, he's now within the 5 seconds and looks of things. Saying that though, it's just automatically just dropped straight back out of that, so I'm not too sure what has happened. And Luke out of DRS as well. I don't know if there's like a timing glitch going on.
I think he just went a bit wider or something around turn 10. I see Slash taking a lot of different lines compared to Luke, so the timing might be a little bit confused with that every now and then, as Rex and Brent are battling through the middle sector. As those yellows, Brent is round.
Yeah, they're both going side by side through turn number 6. Brent, in fact, actually has got front right end plate damage, so I don't know if he made contact with Rex or what happened with that. But yeah, Brent, with that damage, now out of the points as well. RJ gets promoted into the points, and he's trying to chase down Rex, trying to get within 3 seconds of him. There's yellow flags again at the back. That is that Scream out of turn number 2 this time as well. So very unfortunate for him indeed. But yeah, Larkin now out of DRS from his teammate. He now needs to try and claw something back to try and keep within 5 seconds of Slash. At the moment, he would have lost this as well, as Brent, in fact, actually got back past more games, interestingly enough, despite having that wing damage.
Interesting to see. Not too sure what happened there. We saw it earlier, obviously, with Nathan as well. And with these cars creating most of the downforce from the floor, it might be because of that the front wing damage isn't too heavy, and that they are still able to drive with that. Meanwhile, on this on the fight for P7, it's quite interesting. The two Red Bulls are obviously trying to maintain this, but Nathan, again with that front wing damage, he's still keeping with them. He's still having the pace on him. He's now going to try a line of a move on Taupe, then down towards turn 4. Can he make this one stick? Down the inside, it'll be difficult to keep it. He's using the gears to rotate the car. Just about has it, I think, and he's up to P8. Very impressive.
Right, having that wing damage, Nathan. We were just talking about Brent getting a move done, but Nathan getting a move done for P8, and a good job that well, a good move that was indeed for the Alpine. Now on the back, of Dari. To try and get that P7 as well. You can really see, yeah, I think Dari must have had some sort of wing change. There's no way, because he was all over the back of Rick. So from what I was saying earlier, I think Dari did have some sort of wing damage, because he's losing even more time to Rick now for P6. But Rick 2.6 seconds now behind Creco. Larkin now 1.9 seconds behind Killer Blue. These hards, I don't know what it is in this second stint, but they just do not seem, despite them being even younger than Killer Blue's mediums, and you would have thought those mediums would have gone off very soon, those mediums just look like they're still not dropping off or anything like that, despite being on them for 13 laps.
Yeah, they don't really look that quick anymore. We'll keep an eye on Evans, as he's now pressuring Taupe. Again, one of those hard runners at the moment. Not really having a pace, and I think Evans is going to try and line up a move. I don't think Nathan is up ahead. I'm just going to keep an eye on that as well, but Evans is looking for the move down towards the inside of turn 1. See if he can make this one stick. Bit of wheel-to-wheel contacts. Now on the apex of 2, let's see, can Evans complete it? Just about the outside, has a little bit of oversteer, and Taupe goes round in the mayhem of that. And yeah, it's not really anyone's complete fault, but yeah, Evans just having that oversteer moment. Tags the Red Bull round and sends him into the wall in turn 3.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate for Taupe. He was doing pretty well with the NS race as well, but yeah, very unfortunate that he's now been basically demoted down at P11. I think he would have gotten rear wing damage off of that as well, so I think might have had the same thing. Well, he's probably going to have what Nolan had earlier when he didn't have any sound, but yeah, with that rear wing damage, it means he's now pretty much more prone to having or going around, shall I say. So very unfortunate for Taupe. I think he'll be lucky if he does end up picking up points. I think his only saving grace is that Brent has got damage as well on the front of his car, so I think Taupe is just hoping that he can get it across the line, at least in P number 11. I think RJ might be closing up to the back of him already for that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He might have gone away with it, but I'd be very surprised if so. In the meantime, Kilber's been slightly catching Luke and Slash, but not quite enough to say he's going to be on the back of him or forming any threat. But I think it does look like, I said, Kriko's going down the inside of Larkin actually in the meantime. This Elifax is just the Scream's AI car, I think, or just letting people through actually. He's not out of the race yet, but yeah, Kriko is through on Larkin into P4. Can Larkin fight back down the inside of turn 4? I think he can. Just runs him out a little bit wide, but gives him enough space there to survive. Larkin is through though, and he's up into P4, but this is just going to cost him more time towards Slash.
Yeah, I think these two are really. I think these two are out of contention with Slash at the moment. I think, as I said, with that battling going on between them, they can't be battling if they want any chance of jumping up ahead of Slash. Slash is just still doing a good job though. Luke doing a very good job of keeping up with him, and yeah, Killer Blue, like you're saying, he's actually catching up to them. Despite being on 4 lap older tyres than our race leader, he's catching up to Luke. Interestingly enough, so yeah, I think Killer Blue is the one that's actually looking the fastest out of the lot of out of the top 5, shall I say? And I think he's only getting, well, I'm pretty sure it is solidified it, unless he does make a mistake, it's solidified that he will be picking up this 3rd place. I think the only thing that these guys are hoping for now is that Slash picks up another penalty, or like a 3-second penalty, shall I say, or if he does just make another mistake, which then promotes Luke to the lead of the race, and then something else just happens from there. But Flex into the pits, getting now lapped by our race leaders, and I think he's probably going to try and go for a set of the softs to go for a fastest lap like that Scream has gone for as well. But being lapped, you need to pretty much go for it now. So it'll be interesting as Kriko down the inside of Larkin in towards turn 1. We saw this one last lap. Is he going to have the DRS as well? In fact, yeah, Kriko actually got the DRS off of Larkin. So Kriko, I think, is actually going to start ahead of Larkin. Larkin's going to try and keep it around the outside, though, using a bit of his DRS to try and see if he can get it. But Kriko, I think, is now gotten that move done, and very nicely done indeed. Evans, in fact, getting past Nathan as well. So Nathan now dropping down to P9 on those medium tyres with that wing damage as well.
Yeah, I think Nathan must have made a mistake or something, dropped off the back of Dari, or just was affected by his wing damage a bit too much. Kriko now passed on Larkin, but this has just put them further back compared to Slash. So Slash is basically solidified on this podium with this pace he got. Don't think that's going to change anything. And yeah, Kill Blue will be solidified in 2nd place.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks that way as well. Larkin's still trying to fight any way that he can to get onto the back of Kriko, at least for that 4th position, and getting themselves 12 points instead of 10 points. But yeah, a little bit of an interesting thing as well that's going back, or going towards the back, is RJ 1 second now behind Tope, with of course Tope having that rear wing damage, starting to struggle a lot more now, and RJ, we could probably see a move going down in towards the final lap. But now on to the final lap of this race, and Slash still in the lead of that. No ERS at all for the Alpine compared to Luke, who has 2% left to play with. Killer Blue with 5%. Kriko still got 17%, and Larkin with 0% as well. So in fact, Slash, I think, must have made some sort of mistake, because Luke is all over the back of Slash. I don't think he's going to attempt to go for any move on the Alpine, but of course with that penalty, he's just going to just stick behind him and remain there for the time being. Killer Blue still closing up to the back of them. But yeah, Slash has done very well just to stay up ahead of Luke, despite Luke being in his DRS pretty much for this entire race. The only problem for him, though, is that not the wing damage, the 5-second penalty that he did pick up. So unfortunately, that's not gone well for him whatsoever. And now we're going to be seeing Slash lose this win. It was a very good drive from him indeed. Just that one mistake that he made is what has cost him this win from the looks of things. Luke, if he can keep it on the tarmac throughout these final few corners, then Luke looks like he will be a Division 2 race winner for his first time. Well, and in fact, only moving up from Division 3 from last season, he's definitely showing his pace early on and getting his foot in the door, and it's looking a very good run for the AlphaTauris, for the Alpines as well. I think we're going to be seeing this battle going on all season here, yeah. But as they make their way around the final corner now, Luke is going to look to take the win from Slash. Slash will come across the line to take the win on track, but Luke will win on his debut for Division 2. Killer Blue will finish in 2nd. Slash will end up finishing in 3rd. Kriko was not close enough enough. Only a 10th behind Slash in the end, so ends up finishing 4th. Larkin will finish in 5th. Rick in 6th. Darry looks like he will come home to finish in 7th. Evans will finish in 8th. 9th will be Nathan with that wing damage, so I would say it's good damage limitation from Nathan. Rex looks like he will end up finishing in 10th in the end. RJ, in fact, might end up jumping up ahead of Rex. I thought it was a 3-second for Rex, but it's a 5 seconds. So RJ jumped up ahead of Rex. Tope, unfortunately, missing out by 800ths of a second from the American, but will still pick up a point after having that contact with, I can't remember who it was that he had contact with, but unfortunately for him, it just hasn't worked out for Tope. Brent in 13th, more games in 14th. Dash Screen got that, so finished 16th, but got the fastest lap, and Bunty will just wait for him to come across the line. But Luke taking the win and is now our championship leader throughout the first round. I was expecting this to be one of the Alpines, but Luke actually proving us wrong here.
Yeah, Luke, normally a very consistent driver, and he showed that once again. The guys around him making mistakes for whatever sort, and he has just been consistent. Maybe not the quickest out on track, but he's kept the consistency up. He's not made a single error, and he's just managed to, catch it on towards the podium and actually win it. So, very well, congrats to him.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, very well done to him as well. And we are going to be doing, of course, podium interviews. It will be actually in the PlayStation party just for today. Probably for next week, we will be doing it in the Discord, but just for today, we'll do it in the party. So, yeah, but a massive congratulations to Luke for taking the win. Also, commiserations to Killer Blue and to Slash for 2nd and 3rd, respectively, between them. But yeah, it was a good battle nonetheless. They just had to. It was the one who kept it the most consistent, which was Luke and Killer Blue. Luke just, I think, had that extra bit of pace throughout today as well. I say Killer Blue, but he did have that spin out of turn 11 and still ended up finishing in 2nd. So it was a very good result from him indeed. But I'll quickly run through the order, and then of course we'll speak to our podium sitters. So Luke did end up taking the win today. Killer Blue in 2nd, Slash in 3rd with that 5-second penalty. Did take the win on track, but dropped down into 3rd. Creeko in 4th, with Larkin in 5th. Rick in 6th, Gary in 7th, Evans in 8th, Nathan in 9th, RJ in 10th, Rex in 11th, Tope taking that final spot on the of the points, so finishing in 12th, Brent in 13th, more games in 14th, Bunty in 15th, Dash Screen getting lapped in 16th, and then our DNFers of Flex, Timon, Doom, and Nolan. Very unfortunate for what happened with Nolan at the start, but yeah, that's, I suppose, how it goes. It is only the first round of the season, so there's still plenty more to come up with that one as well. But that is it for round number 1. We'll now do a podium interviews. We have got our 2nd place finisher of Killer Blue in the party, and we've also got our race winner in the party. So we'll start off with our race winner. Sorry, Jake, but Luke, what a race that was from you. Was you expecting to take the win for tonight? If Luke's there.
I don't think we can hear him as of right now.
Sorry, I was on mute. Going into it, I wasn't expecting to win. But even after quali, I thought I'd get a podium, but not a win. And then the 2 Alpines crashed, so made life easier.
I wondered what happened with them, because I saw that they were just sort of quite a bit ahead, but I wasn't too sure what had happened between the pair of them. But it was a very good drive from you, to say the least. As I said, I think you were only one of the ones that kept it most consistent out of everyone. That early on, like, was you expect? Well, as I said, you was only expecting a podium, but not to win. Was there anyone that you thought, that you was trying to sort of keep up ahead as much as possible? Was there anyone that you felt or like feared from behind that could potentially try and jump up ahead of you at all?
I think at the start of towards the end of the first stint, I saw Rikurik was gaining quite a bit, but I don't know what happened to him towards the end.
Yeah, no, I think he just sort of started to drop off a little bit. I think just from that tyre as well, he just wasn't enjoying that whatsoever. Of course, now championship leader for the first round, coming off from Division 3 last season. I don't think you was expecting me to say that, but Imola next week. Is that one that you're going to try and maybe go for 2 in a row, or is that not one that's particularly strong for yourself?
I haven't done much of it on this game. I think it's going to be a tricky track for everyone, with the curbs and all the traction zones. So hopefully it'll be good, but if it's not, It's all right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, got any questions for Luke?
First of all, congratulations. It must be a way to debut into the division too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
That's kind of all, because I think your race was it wasn't too exciting. You were just sat in the DRS of Slash, obviously, after you got that penalty. Were you
No,
ever worried about anything, or just kind of chill back and yeah,
oh, I
wait
was worried
for
about spinning, but that's pretty much it.
yeah, we've seen a lot of people do that today, and I think you were basically the only one that didn't have anything going on track at all that went negatively. So congrats on the consistency as well.
Thank you.
And now we'll move on over to our second place finisher, Killer Blue. Despite having that spin out of turn number 11, you still managed to finish in second. I mean, talk us through that one. I'll start off by saying, obviously, congratulations, but I think there might be a little bit of an inner-team rivalry. Larkin hitting the back of you early on. Was that was you expecting to be that close with that?
Oh yeah, that was a shock. I just felt this tap from the rear. I thought whoever it was that was behind both of us, Evans possibly, at the time, had just sent it completely, and then I realised it was Larkin. He said I broke early, but you can check the footage. I just broke at my normal breaking point. But yeah, we were caught in a sticky situation at the end because like when we were chasing Slash, we wanted to stay in the 5 seconds, but then Larkin was vulnerable to Kriko, and then I went to go catch Slash, or have a go at Luke rather, because I thought I had the pace. But then, when by the time it became clear that I wasn't going to do that, I couldn't back off to help Larkin, and I just feel bad for Larkin because he could have had a double podium. But it was just one of those things, I suppose.
I was just about to ask about that as well, but you've answered that for me, so no problem. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I know Bahrain is usually a strong track for yourself. Obviously, early on, you know, qualifying, I think, relatively high as well. Was there anybody? I'll ask you the same thing as what I did with Luke. Was there anyone that was sort of worrying when you was in that second stint? Because I think you looked to be the quickest one out on track, but even coming from behind, was there anybody else that you was expecting to try and jump through those two hard runners as well?
Well, I don't think there was anyone that I was worried about pace-wise. Until Nathan spun, I just thought I could maybe follow Nathan up to that pack. I didn't quite realize how quick I was until Nathan spun and I pushed up to Larkin and Kriko, because I didn't really think I was in the race. And then about 10 laps from the end, Gary, who was Jeffin, was like, "You can win this race, Jake." I was like, "Oh, nice! That was an unexpected thing to hear." But it was the thing that, or the person I was worried about initially was Rick, because he came out of the pits and he was on like 4 or 5 lap fresher tyres than me. But I'm not sure what happened to him, but he didn't quite have the pace, or if it was just my mediums held up really well. But I was surprised Rick wasn't close. He was probably the only person in the second stint I was worried about.
Yeah, no, without that, he did look like. I'm still not too sure what had happened with him, but I think he still finished 6th in the end anyway, so it still wasn't a bad result from him. Obviously, Imola next week. I know a lot of people haven't really particularly done too much of it on this game, but are you favouring it a bit more than what you would with Bahrain, or are you thinking, are you going to try and go for the win for next week, or is it going to be a bit of a try and just do what you can for it?
I think it's a try and do what you can situation. I wasn't expecting to go for the win today. It was a pleasant surprise, but then it was the same last season when I won the first race of season 6. I'll do my best and see where I end up. It's a wheelie track, but it's a track I like. I'm just not particularly quick there, but we'll see. If I avoid spins, like if I avoided a spin today, I could have won. So who knows? Next week, maybe more people will spin and I'll have more chances. But if I can get, top 5, top 6, if I'm in the same battle next week that I was in today at the first stint, I'll be happy.
No, without a doubt. Yeah, have you got any questions for Killer Blue for tonight?
I do actually have one, and I'm not sure if you answered this one. But was that early pit stop, was that planned? Or were you just... Because you were stuck behind Dari at that point, I think it was.
I was wanting to pull my hair out with frustration because Rick and Dari were so slow. I was doing... The lap before I pitted, I did a 33.0 without any mistakes. It was just... I was so slow. I just wanted to get out of that situation, and the tyres could make it from there. So I thought, you know what, sod it, let's have a go. It was a good job I did because I cleared those guys and Evans as well by a fair bit, and it got me in. If I'd stayed out any longer, I probably wouldn't have got PT.
Yeah, fair play on it then.
Yeah, so congratulations to Killer for finishing in second, and we'll move on over to our third place finisher. Won it on track. Unfortunate with the 5 second penalty slash. I mean, you and Nathan just looked like you were pretty much clear, I would say, but unfortunately, that 5 second penalty, that mistake, cost you the win. How was that race for you for tonight?
Everything like went according to plan. Like I was keeping the DOS with Crickle and Nathan, and then as soon as Crickle appeared, I feel like we were like creating a big gap, me and Nathan, and then everything went horribly bad. Went around lap 40 when Nathan had like a little half spin, and then I overtook him initially, and then in the next corner, I had a little half spin as well, and then he hit in my rear. So then he had wing damage, and then practically he had pit much earlier, and then the following 2 laps I got a 5 second penalty. So in a way, I didn't deserve to win this race, and I'm kind of happy I didn't got it because I know that I made too many mistakes, and yeah, and Luke was very quick, and I couldn't get him out of the DRS. So yeah, at least I got P3, but it should have been way more than I could have gotten today.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Like when, because I know you and Nathan were sort of like in that, or towards the end of that first stint, you were both very close with each other. What actually happened? Because I saw Nate when he came in, he actually had to change his wing, and I saw all of a sudden that Luke catch up to the back of the pair of you. So, what actually happened with that? It looked like it was a sort of like turn 4, turn 5 kind of area.
Yeah, it all started around turn 2 when Nathan had a half spin. So I got past, and then I was like, I was planning to take the corner as normal as possible, and then I had like a little half spin, and then Nathan hit the rear, like hit his front wing at my rear wing, so he got damaged because of that. And then I didn't know if I wanted to overtake him straight away or waited for him to pit because I didn't know, like we weren't in a party at the time, so it was kind of hard to decide what to do. And then Luke came much quickly, and then the next lap I made like a big mistake, and then Luke overtook me.
Right, okay, I see. But yeah, I mean, as I said, still finishing in third despite all of that happening. That's still not a bad result whatsoever. We have, of course, got Imola next week. Are you looking to try and get a bit of redemption for that? Try and take the win for that for next week?
I might, I don't know fully because I haven't tested out the Imola yet on this game, and I knew like from last season I struggled a lot on this track. So if I can just get like a few points or get like close to like to the top by people getting mistakes, then I'd be happy, since I make few mistakes but I don't make like big mistakes when spinning out or crashing. So just hopefully people in front of me make mistakes for that race.
Yeah. No, I get that, and I said hopefully, you do get a bit of redemption for that for next week. Yeah. Any questions for Slash at all?
Congratulations on the podium. I know it's early in the season, but would you agree that you and Nathan are the favourites for the constructors?
I don't want to say anything yet because if I say it, it will go drastically wrong. Like I remember in season 5, I was hyping myself saying, "Oh, I'm gonna challenge for the title and everything," and then it all went horribly wrong afterwards, and I didn't even race the last few races of the season as well. So I'm just gonna wait and see, and then yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, I think that's all she wrote for round number 1 of season 8 for Division 2. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in for tonight. Yeah, have you got any sort of final opinions for the race that we've seen for tonight?
Was quite a lot of entertainment, to be honest. Obviously, Aiden's going to be back next week, but hopefully they have to deal with a lot less spinners. I think maybe try and practice to keep it on the black stuff and the grey stuff a little bit more. That'd be my advice for about half of the drivers. Obviously, some had some issues, but yeah, there was still a lot of mistakes that obviously come with the new game, new patch. Obviously, only this week brought out. But yeah, it'd be nice to see if we could have a few more drivers in the fight, because I think there's the division, as we saw in qualifying, it's very close together. So let's hope that's a bit better next week.
Yeah, no, hopefully we do see a lot more people try and keep it on the track next week, and hopefully a bit more entertaining as well. Not to say that tonight wasn't entertaining, but yeah, I'm sure it'll probably be a lot more entertaining when people do manage to keep it out on the track. But yeah, thank you to everybody that has tuned in for tonight. And make sure you guys do catch next week at 6:30 p.m. British Standard Time for Division 1 and Division 3, with James Head and Killer Blue for Division 1, and Division 3 being Jess Games and REL Felipe or Nolan. And then at 8:10 p.m. British Standard Time next week for Division 2 and Division 4 with myself and Commentated, who hopefully should be back next week as well. And then Division 4 being an all-American duo of Packer and Maverick. But yeah, thanks to everybody that has tuned in for tonight, and we'll catch you guys next week for round number 2 around the Imola circuit.